Thank you very much for tuning in. So today what I'm going to be doing is going through some eBay auctions which I've been looking at, and I'm going to be commenting on the prices, the record, and whether I think it's going to sell or not. These are all auctions, so I thought you might find it interesting. Obviously, um, I was a dealer back in the 90s, and I've been sort of following classical records ever since then. Ever since, well, shall we say, I became a collector around about the late 80s. I started off on CDs in the mid 80s. I went on to records, and I've been interested in them ever since then. So let's just start going through. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this video and give my forecast about whether they're going to sell or not. And then after the auctions end tomorrow, I'm going to make another video to look at what actually happened and whether I was right or not. So let's have a look at the first one. Okay, SAX 2278. Let's just open it in a new window. Here we are. Okay, this is a marvelous record. Klemperer at his absolute best, conducting the Philharmonia in two of Mozart's best symphonies, the two G minor symphonies, number 25 and number 40. And I love them both as much as each other. Probably I've got more of a soft spot for the earlier G minor. I think it's an amazing piece of music for an 18-year-old or anybody of any age to compose. It's partly made famous by Amadeus, and it's just a fantastic. The first movement is absolutely unbelievable. So yeah, very more of the sort of a Sturm und Drang tradition that Mozart was maybe sort of imitating from Haydn, but sort of putting his own musical character on it. So yeah, so here we are. I like the jacket a lot. It shows possibly, I think that's probably obviously the autograph from one of the symphonies. I'm not too sure, but I like the design of the jacket. It's a kind of a laminated type. Actually, I've had this record before several times when I was dealing in the 90s. I haven't seen it, and it was very much sought after, and it probably still is. So the sound is absolutely, it's really a sort of creamy, delicious kind of Columbia sound. Very smooth, a lot of finesse. Yeah, it's really gorgeous analog sound, and it's a very popular record that most collectors would want to have, and I wouldn't mind having it myself. This particular copy has got the stereophonic EMI label on it, which is nice to see. And the jacket concerns me on this copy, but to be honest with you, it's a kind of sort of laminated type cover, which is very thin. And I remember this one. It was very rare to find one in sort of near mint condition or even excellent condition. And you can see here that where people have taken the record out, it's kind of wavy around the edge here, which I don't really like. It reduces the appeal, but it's such a rare record that the main thing with this is that the record itself is in good condition. The jacket's not bad, to be fair. I would probably rate that at sort of good, very good. It's certainly not EX. And let's have a look at the rest of it on the back. You see, we see the same problem here. Yeah, sort of waved, and it's worn at the edges, and at the bottom here it's a little bit dirty, but there are no tears, which is a good thing. And to be fair, it's not in bad condition for its age, but kind of knocks the price down a bit. Okay, so he's got the records in the original sleeves. That's good to see. And then the record itself it's difficult to tell, of course. I mean, looking at these pictures, it looks to be like it's in good condition. Can't really see any spindle marks, which is a good sign. Yeah. Now, I won't analyze all of the records. I'm doing it for this one because it's an expensive one, because I've got Eclipses which I'm looking at that people have bid on. I won't be doing this for all of them. It's just because it's an expensive record. So let's have a look and see what he says about it. He's rated it record grading near mint. Well, we'll see. Sleeve grading very good plus. Well, I think that's a bit generous. I wouldn't go for that. I would say VG at best, and you know, maybe good plus. So he said, cover is VG plus due to slight waving at the opening edges. Well, I think it's worse than that. Vinyl is near mint visually. Okay, fully play tested, and the only imperfections are 4 moderate ticks on side 2, second movement, and another 2 clicks on the third movement. Plays near mint otherwise. You see, 4 clicks. I always, when I was dealing, if there were 3 clicks or more, to me, that would reduce it a grade. Two light clicks is kind of acceptable. 3, you know, it just sort of reduces the appeal of the record. And if it had been an EX with 2 light clicks in a row, if there were 3, I would reduce it to VG plus. That's my grading. And if there are like 5 or 6 ticks in a row, suddenly it's just a VG. 7 or 8 clicks and it's just a G. I'm sorry, but that's how it goes. Even if the rest of the record is near mint, that's how strict I am with grading. So I don't agree with his assessment. I think that, I mean, if there are 4 moderate clicks in a row, I would rate that at VG plus. It's tough that the rest of the record is in near mint condition, but that's the way that I would rate it. So my assessment here is £120. I don't know what this currently goes for. It used to sell for about 150 back in the 90s. I suspect an absolutely flawless record with a beautiful jacket would maybe sell for £300 or 350 for a really keen collector. So maybe 120 is a fair price. I suspect though that it won't sell, and my forecast is for £120 this record will not sell. I think that maybe £80 it would sell, but not 120. Let's come back tomorrow and see if I'm right. Okay, let's go on. So yeah, here are some eclipses that somebody's listed at £5. I don't think that's going to sell. Rimsky-Korsakov, Adrian Bolt, that's not going to sell. Holster Planets, one of the most common ASDs out there on a white and gold, £10. I don't think that's going to sell. It's just too common. I really don't think it's going to sell. And we've got Dinu Lipatu there, £10. Grieg and Schumann, that's not going to sell either. I mean, even the absolute original of that is probably only going to fetch about £20 in mint condition, £15–20. I wouldn't say Lipati is that collectible. We've got Barbaroli here on a Concert Classics. That's not going to sell for £6. RCA Victrola, Rachmaninoff, £10. That's not even an early one. It's a pink label. It's not even the silver on what is it, plum label. That's not good, or silver on maroon. That's not going to sell. This isn't going to sell either. Rachmaninoff, Vespers on a CBS. That's not going to sell. Vaughan Williams, is that a CFP? Yes, £5. Nope. Chopin, Marg. Okay, so this is a bit more interesting because it's from a SXL 2000, which is fairly well sought after. Marg is a highly collectible conductor. £4.99. I'm going to say that's not going to sell either. It's just not interesting enough. Somebody's got to pay £10 to have that. These are all auctions, of course, but I can't really see them getting bids. So far we're not doing well. I don't think any of them are going to sell. Okay, so we've got we've got a Half Moon Columbia Magic Notes and $29.99 for that. I don't think that's going to sell. No, maybe for £10. He's graded at EX. Okay, but you know, I mean, it's not an original, so I mean, the jackets are in fair condition. If you had an original pressing of this and you wanted good jackets, because you had tatty jackets, it might be worth buying for £30 even, because an original, you know, blue silver crisscross of Klemperer doing the choral, which by the way, many copies I've tried have always had end of side distortion on the last movement. But nevertheless, I would think that you know, a superb condition original would probably fetch, I don't know, maybe £300 or £400. Oh, yeah, so you could get the jacket if you had tatty jacket. But I believe that this jacket also comes in a kind of laminated, sort of thinner version, and not the cardboard version, which I think I'm probably right on that. Yeah, I think I'm right. Okay, so let's keep going. What else have we got? Okay, so we got Isha Stedt here, Symphony 5 and 8. Well, first pressing, That might go. Sorry, yeah, the Ischerstedt. Yeah, again, it's near mint condition. I don't think that'll go either. I'm not doing well, are we? I'm so pessimistic about all these records. Um, okay, so we've got something with a bid, Bruckner. I think that will go for the 299. Bruckner Klemperer. I don't think anybody's going to pay more than 299 for it. And here we are. We've got Mahler Symphony No. 6, Haitink conducting, and that's got no bids, 299. I don't think that's going to sell unless somebody happens to want that, and there'll just be one bidder maybe. Okay, Perlman here. Actually, that's quite unusual. Prokofiev 2 violin concertos, digital. Perlman's not really that collectible. I think that could potentially go. I'll stick my neck out there and say that somebody who wants that record for 350 plus 350 shipping in the UK will buy that. That's one of the more unusual Perlmans. Mozart, Murray Pariah, full piano concerto set, £35. I don't think it will go. There are people who want that set. I think 35 is a bit much for it, and with the shipping, £45. I don't think that will go. Okay, so here's one that, if you grew up in the 70s, I mean, virtually everybody had this record, 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's got a beautiful cover, a still from the film, or some artwork from the film. And virtually, I'm not saying I'm being a bit hyperbolic there. Not everybody had it, of course, but that was such a common record back in the 70s. I'd almost feel like buying it just for old time's sake. But having said that, for £5, no, I don't think it will sell. Van Cliburn. This looks like a stereo SB, Decca pressed in the UK. I'm not sure if it's the original. Let's have a look. If it's the silver on red, yes it is. These are lovely pressings, pressed by Decca in the UK. It's Beethoven Emperor Concerto. That should go, actually. I don't know what the condition is. Let's have a look, see what he says the condition is. VG Plus, Playback Perfect EX. Okay, well if it's perfect, it should be near mint, shouldn't it? All right, well, I think that should go. I think £4 is not a bad price for that. Might even bid on it myself. Okay, right, so Mura Limpany, this one's got bids on it already. And I must say that I am slightly surprised that it's gone to £89 so soon. I mean, yeah, I suppose it's probably unusual to see them both together. So I don't know what to say about this one, what it will sell for. It's already gone beyond what I thought it would have sold for. So we'll come back to this and see how much it does go for. And because had I found this before the bidding started and there were no bids on it, I probably would have guessed that it would go for 50, 60, 70 pounds. So it's gone beyond what I thought it would have gone for. It'll be really interesting to see what it does go for. So, okay, let's keep going. We've got Chung here. That's not going to sell for £9.99. I mean, £9.99 is a fair price, but I just don't think it will sell. It's just too common, the Brook Chung. The 1812, this is the first of the SXL 2000s, 2001, £69. It used to be one that I had trouble selling back in the old days. I used to sell it for maybe just 30 quid because it was so common. The condition is sort of okay-ish. It's got the original jacket, that's good to see. Let's see what he says the condition is. EX condition for the sleeve, near mint for the record. Well, if that's true, will that sell? No, I still don't think it will sell for £69. It's got no bids on it. There's 9 hours left. Let's see. Oh yeah, Furtwängler. Furtwänglers used to fetch good money, but I don't think they do anymore. $15.99 for Haydn. I don't think that will sell. Okay, Harmonia Mundi. Okay, no, actually that's from a previous, yeah, okay, forget that. Okay, well, those are all the auctions. I'm going to come back tomorrow and we'll see whether my forecast proved to be correct. Bye for now.